Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a video on veganism. I've been kind of putting this off, filming this for a while just because there have been like other videos that I've been really wanting to film, like financial updates and things like that. So I want to do a video and share with you guys on what to expect when you're transitioning into veganism as you're going through the changes. And this really applies whether you transition or cut cold. I think some of these changes are inevitable. Just whether you transition or whether you cut cold will determine maybe like how heavy these things hit you, like whether it's more on the intense side or the non-intense side. So I just wanted to share with you guys what to expect when you're transitioning. These things are also, I mean, this is what happened to me and like some of my other vegan friends. We kind of all can relate to the things that I'm going to tell you about. So if it doesn't happen to you, that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. If it does, hopefully these tips can help you. So let's just go ahead and jump into the video. So I have my little list here. That's why I'm looking down. The first thing that really kind of like hit me was acne. And this may also be because I got off birth control and went vegan in the same month. So I was really moody. I was really rude and moody and irritable, and just detoxing my body of the birth control and also detoxing my body of meat and dairy. All of that came out in my skin, and I'm normally not a body acne person. I have no body acne at all. I just don't have that problem, but it was coming out in my skin. It was coming out all over my body. It's just, I was really detoxing that, and it all just showed in my skin. I'm the type of person that when I'm stressed or when I'm irritable, you know, I don't really eat out of stress. I'm not that person who like needs to work out or something. It just shows up in my skin. So if I'm not eating right, or if I am stressed, that kind of thing shows up in my skin, and sometimes in my hair. Like if I'm stressed, like my hair will start falling out. I'm that person. So that was the first thing. And just as I was detoxing, I really saw all of that stuff just come out in my skin, and it was awful. The second thing I would say is you're gonna be super hungry all the time. Like, I have a small appetite normally. When I was transitioning to veganism, like that first month, I don't think I've ever eaten that much. I'm that type of person. The average size meal, the average sized American meal, which honestly is a greater proportion compared to lots of other parts of the world, an average meal will last me like 2 meals. But I was eating all the time because my body and my taste buds were just getting used to being on plant-based diets a lot, and also like plant-based diets, your food digests faster than animal-based. Dairy and meat, those take a long time to kind of digest in your body and your stomach acids. It takes longer for them to break that stuff down versus something plant-based. So you're gonna be hungrier or hungry more often because your food is digesting faster. But in the end, it will all balance out. Third thing, I wasn't necessarily craving meat and dairy, like the actual taste. I was craving the texture of it. So instead of like being like, oh, like I want fried chicken, I was just like, I just want that crunch, you know, just like the crunch of fried chicken skin. Like I just missed that. Like the smoothness of queso or something like that. So I wasn't necessarily like craving the food. I was craving the way the food felt in my mouth. And I had to find ways to compensate for that, or find like plant-based things that mocked or imitated that texture that I was missing. That's also something I want to encourage you to really think about when you're transitioning. Are you like, or when you decide to go vegan, however you decide to do it, if you're cutting cold or transitioning, whatever. Think about, are you craving the actual food, like the flavor, or are you craving the texture? Because I found for me that most of the time it was texture over flavor. What are we on, number 4? Okay, so I will say that going vegan does give you an increased sexual, sensual drive. I think there is something about going plant based and going holistic that heightens you spiritually and physically and mentally in every way. And I think that your sex life, whether it's active or inactive, is no exception. So just really be thinking about that. I think I think it just kind of, I think going vegan can lead to other awakenings about, how you take care of your body, how you appreciate your body, how you share your body, and those types of things. So I know people say, oh, when you go vegan, like you want to have sex all the time or you want to be sexually active all the time. And I will say, in my opinion, that there is some truth to that, because when you kind of, take that shift holistically, it kind of forces you down that path, and you have to kind of open up your mind to, how you take care of your body, what you're putting in your body, what you're sharing with people in your body. And then just, you have more energy all around. Everything that they say about, your skin clearing up, you having more energy, you sleeping better, that bleeds into everything that you do, and your sex life is no exception. So weight loss. I did lose weight when I was vegan. At first, I've always been a small person, a petite person. I'm about 5'4", and currently I'm under 120 pounds. I'm not sure exactly how much I weigh. But when I went vegan, I lost 10 pounds. And I've always been slightly underweight, but it balances out for my particular specs with like my blood pressure and my height and all those types of things. But for the average, for like my age and like the average weight for someone who's in their early 20s, I'm below that average. But when you look at my specs as an individual, it balances out. So yeah, I did lose weight. I lost 10 pounds. And once everything settled, probably 3 months into it, like after my transition period, I gained 5 back. And I will say a great thing about that is I've always kind of had an active lifestyle, and I've tried to be really healthy and active and things like that. But I don't work out as much as I did when I was on an animal-based diet, because I don't have to work out the bad habits that I had. So yeah, I think you will lose weight. I think that's kind of inevitable for anybody, but it's not something to be afraid of, because I do think that it will balance out, and then there's going to be a period where your body is going to be like, your body's going to freak out because you're doing something different. When you've been doing the same thing for so many years and you start to do something different, that's going to be a permanent change. You have to give your body time to get used to that. So all the changes that you're going to experience, all of these things that I'm listing, you have to give your body time to get used to it. So I will say, yeah, weight loss is something that you may experience. And this last one is very much so particular to the female body. You will, if you stick with it long enough, if you stick with veganism long enough, you will see a change in your menstrual cycle. And I have a video, I believe, on my Girl Talk playlist talking all about menstrual cycles. And in that, I go into more detail of how going vegan gave me a better, more bearable, shorter cycle. And I think the biggest differences for me that I saw in my cycle were, I don't cramp as much, and my cycles are my cycles are super short. My cycles are 3 days, and I have a light flow. I buy nothing but like small and regular sized tampons. So yeah, I will say you will notice some changes in your menstrual cycle. Hopefully some positive changes. I noticed positive changes. So yeah, you guys, that's it. I think this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that I mentioned. Just to give you guys kind of, a heads up. If you're thinking about going vegan, what to expect. There's a lot of stuff about, acne and weight loss and all this kind of stuff that you may be weary of. So I just wanted to share these things to give you some insight so you kind of know what to expect. Obviously this is going to be different from person to person. in addition to the levels of intensities that you may experience these changes. But I just wanted to share what happened to me and what I went through in hopes that it will help you as well. So if they do happen to you, you won't freak out so much. So yeah, you guys, like, comment, subscribe, engage with me in the comments below. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.